Santa Fe Indian Market is nearly a century old and is the largest and most prestigious native arts market in the world. And we have a rare opportunity to meet two artists today and learn about contemporary Indian arts and cultures. And with us are Wanesia Misquadace and also Max Early. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Well, it's great to have you here. For our viewers who don't know, tell us about Indian Market, what it is.
Well, Indian Market is in its 90th year this year. There's about 1,100 artists, and we're all juried into the show. So it's quite an honor because of all the native artists in the world. There's 1,100 of us, and we're all juried in. So we're really honored to be here.
Well, we're great. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, Wanesia, you are Ojibway, and it's my understanding that Ojibway are historically known for the crafting of birch bark, which is some of what you'll be showcasing in the Indian Market. Can you tell us a little bit about your heritage and how that inspires your work?
Okay. My name is Wanesia Misquadace, and I'm from the Minnesota Chippewa tribe, which is the Fond du Lac band of Ojibway, and it's located in the North Shores of Minnesota. And I go every year to Minnesota to harvest my birch bark, and I have one of my canisters here. I'm known for making my birch bark canisters, birch bark bitings, and I do jewelry that is a contemporary form of the birch bark biting technique.
Oh, is it tough to work with?
Actually, the birch bark it's really neat because we reused them in canoes, in baskets, our houses. So sometimes when I do work with the birch bark, it's real thin, and I can peel it and fold it and bite on the birch bark and make like these beautiful turtle designs and floral designs. So it can be really soft and supple, but yet hard and resistant and strong. So
wow, and I want to see some of this. I think we have some photographs. Can we go ahead and take a look at those, please? Tell us about what we're seeing here.
That is one of my bracelets that won first place in jewelry last year at Indian Market. It's called the Lady Slipper Cuff, and I've got fine silver, 14 karat gold, and Mediterranean coral, all high grade. It's a contemporary cuff bracelet that kind of just lays on the top of the wrist. It's absolutely beautiful.
That is gorgeous. Oh,
thank you.
And this?
This is my birch bark canister. This also took first place last year in the diverse arts category. I'm in two categories, so I'm juried into jewelry and birch bark, or diverse arts. And you can see my little turtle right there that's surrounded by the birch bark cutout. So none of the canister is done by riveting and not soldering. So, and every year again I go to Minnesota and harvest the birch.
How long does it take you to do this?
A canister like that will usually take me about a month.
A month?
Yeah.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Well, it's gorgeous. Now, Max, we want to hear from you too. Tell us about the Laguna and about the traditional craft of pottery making.
Yes, my name is Max Early. I'm from Laguna Pueblo, and I've been doing pottery for about a good 20 years. And traditionally, it's a woman's craft, but with the modern day and age, it's both men and women that are doing pottery. And I go out, I don't buy anything from the stores, and I go gather my clay and use designs that are incorporated with the rain and with the clouds, and the pot itself is like a cloud.
Wow, and we're actually looking at a picture of some of your work here. Can you tell us a little more about that? This
pot here has a star design, and then you have the feather work on there, like prayer for rain, and then you also have a yucca flower coming out, and it's a large oya that the ladies wear on top of their heads. They would go down to the river and get the water, and then bring the water home for drinking, to use for everyday use.
That is beautiful. And then we have another picture of some more of your work. What's this one?
This one here has a rain design also on there. It's a floral design, so you have the water spirits in there and the rain birds, and the bottom part represents the earth, and then you have the sky and the upper heavens that go through, and it's elements of about 4 of the seasons also.
Wow, that's beautiful. And you also each brought a piece here with you today, and we have that on the table here. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of that and tell us about what you have. I'll start with you, Max.
Okay, I have my wedding vase here, and it's has a rainbow design on top, and they have a buck and a doe, and the ceremony when the couple gets married, you have a bride drinking from one side and the groom drinking from the other side, and the medicine man will have something in there to give the couple and to bless them for their journey together, their life together, and their bond.
That is really pretty. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Now, tell me a little bit about your book.
Which one?
About the book that's on the table.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is Wanesia.
Is this yours?
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
tell me
okay.
about that, please.
Well, this is Fritz Kasusa's work. He has a show on Thursday, August 18th at the Poe Arts Museum.
Okay.
And he's going to be featuring his jewelry and his paintings for the first time. Some of the pieces, like the rings I have on, are his pieces and my necklace.
Those are so pretty. Can you hold those out? Yeah, so we can see those. God, those are gorgeous.
And then Fritz's painting right here, it's so beautiful. He's been doing resin work on there. All of it's hand painted.
So this is not a book at all, I'm sorry.
Oh, this is actually his flyer for his show that's going to be coming up.
Great, okay.
And then I have my birch bark canister right here. This is one of the pieces that I just finished.
Right.
And this will be showing at Indian Market. So I'm going to have 5 canisters, one of the larger ones that you just see. And this is really neat. I'll just pull this up and you can see the inside of it. And you can see the birch bark and everything inside of it. It's just so beautiful. And the little Lake Superior pebble stones that are all riveted into the bottom. And we collect those on the North Shores of Minnesota.
That's great. Now, how long have you guys been participating in Indian Market?
I've been with Indian Market for 17 years. It started in 1994. And this year, my son Alan, he got a youth fellowship, and he's 17, so it's kind of ironic and elating that he'll be selling at the booth with me this year. So we're looking forward to a wonderful year.
That is a good year.
Thank you.
Now, how much work is involved in getting ready for this?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think it takes like a full year. For me, I have to actually plan and harvest the bark in the early part of spring, and then I have to do the design. So it takes a full year to actually...
A full year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I usually start like around middle of May, and then start making my pieces, getting the vessels ready, building the clay vessels, and then from there, like about another 3 to 4 weeks prior to market, will be just nothing but painting and then last minute touches and finishing up up until 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
Right till the last minute.
Yeah. Do you guys make a lot of pieces then? How many do you usually bring? Do you know? A lot?
I used to try to have at least 30 or 40 pieces, but it varies from size, to so that you have a good array of stuff for your customers.
Right. Well, now, is there something that you do the same every year, or do you try to mix it up as far as your routine goes?
I usually try to keep my stuff the same as far as I'm a traditional potter, so I go with traditional pieces. But every year to try to do something new and innovative, because Santa Fe Indian Market is so competitive that coming up with new ideas and pushing the envelope a little bit. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure it's really competitive, and you guys have a chance to submit items for judging prior to market. How important is winning a Best in Show or first place ribbon to you guys?
I can say that can pretty much make or break your career as an artist, because with that award, it comes more contacts, more so it helps your business, to be more profitable.
I'm sure.
And then it helps you out that way.
Yeah, you could be in different galleries and marketing. You have more collectors. And yeah, it's fun.
That's great. Well,
yeah, definitely.
Well, it's such an honor to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Beautiful stuff. I'm so glad that we all got to see that. So thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
I just want to say one more thing.
Okay,
my booth is going to be 519 in Santa Fe Trail on 519.
Oh, and everybody stop by my booth too. It's at 243 Palace Avenue.
Thank you.
And of course, we're not finished with you yet. We're going to get to talk to you again after the break, so stick around. We're going to have much more.
Thank you.
And of course, those are the sights and sounds of the Santa Fe Indian Market. And we're back with Wanesia Misquadace and Max Early, award-winning artists who are participating in Indian Market this weekend in Santa Fe. And this is a super competitive industry with hours upon hours spent perfecting your craft. But is that discipline enough to really achieve your personal and professional goals? What do you think?
For me, I mean, it is a lot of discipline. You got to wake up. You got to be on schedule. You have to do what but a lot of it too is sometimes I don't draw or design anything out. I kind of let the piece kind of happen on its own.
Oh wow.
So, and then there are certain times where you start to draw and you sketch, and that's what it'll be. But a lot of the times my pieces kind of speak and then they are created from that.
They just kind of come to life once you start working with it. What about you?
Yeah, it's the same way too, where, you know, early in the morning when you get up, these new ideas come in, so I'll be sitting there and painting my pots, but at the same time I'm thinking about how can I write that down. So something I'm trying to do is reinvent the wheel sort of on my own, as far as not always doing the same thing but coming up with something different. So I went back to school and got my bachelor's in creative writing, and so I'm starting to incorporate my poetry on my pottery also. So
that's wonderful.
So sometimes I'll be painting, at the same time I wish I could be writing.
Right.
You know, so, but you only have two hands.
That's so true. So I bet they both kind of accentuate each other, right?
Yes, they balance out together.
Well, the Southwestern Association for Indian Arts inspires artistic excellence and actually produces Indian Market. So tell us a little bit about SWAIA.
SWAIA has been in with Indian Market since 1922, and then in their 90th year. And every year they have a fellowship recipients, and they choose certain people. You know, that it's a jury competition, so it's quite competitive, and a lot of times artists are there to how would you say, you know, they have to keep the ball rolling.
Right.
So if you don't keep yourself at a high standard, or keep taking your work to galleries, then you can fall out of the limelight. And so that's part of being a full-time artist. Whereas, and then especially with the economy the way it is now, you have to know when to, you know, sell your pieces for what price, and so and it's very competitive in that aspect.
I'm sure.
And it's neat too, because SWAIA has like the highest grade, I think, of standards. Like everything has to be handmade, hand fabricated, and so that's what's neat too about our craft is that I mean it's all like handmade. Nothing you don't buy anything. It's all done by ourselves. So it's really neat.
And that just means so much. There's a lot of emotion and love, I'm sure, going into each piece.
Yes.
Well, Indian Market has a long tradition, so tell us about the changes that you've seen in that over the years. Any changes in traditions that you guys have noticed?
I think maybe a lot of the stuff was more traditional, like the traditional beadwork or maybe traditional pottery. For me, it's like the traditional birch bark, but yet I'm using that and contemporizing it and putting it into new designs and figures. Instead of like doing one of these rings like Fritz does, and you make it more contemporary by adding different stones, different colors, instead of just having the regular turquoise, or maybe trying a new technique here, or even with painting. It's probably the same with the pottery.
Is it similar?
Yeah, with pottery, you know, tradition will always be there as far as the traditional pots and stuff, and pottery especially goes way back, you know, throughout the centuries. But in our modern world, we live in a living culture, so you have to see the contemporary side of it also, and then try to keep that balance as, you know, both traditional and contemporary. So.
And I think as Native people, we're always evolving and trying new things, and that's part of what we do too, is still stay traditional but continue on and evolve with everything as it is today.
Yes, it's that innovation and individuality that makes the artist who they are, and what their work, how it stands out, you know, from somebody else.
And you guys were talking earlier about how much hard work it goes into developing and creating your pieces. How can a visitor know the authenticity of the piece? How can they tell that it's actually authentic? Do you have any tips for that?
Well, I think one thing, when you go to Indian Market in Santa Fe at SWAIA, you know that it's authentic because we have such high standards and we have to be juried in. So that one is definitely, I mean, you'll know that. And you can tell by the craftsmanship, and also if you've got your ribbons, I think that helps too, to say, wow, look at that piece, that's a masterpiece. And even if you don't have your ribbons, it's still like high standards, you know?
Yeah, most definitely, I think.
Yeah, well, tell us each what Indian Market means to you. I'll start with you, Max.
Okay, with Market, it's the same thing every year, where you get ready for it, and it's a great experience, because you see old friends, family, and so it's kind of like going to a pueblo feast again. And with the 17 years I've been with Market, it's been great, and I see old customers come back and old collectors and make new friends. So every year is elating, and looking forward to this weekend.
I bet you're so exciting, and you guys, it's probably a good feeling too to be done, right? And then
oh yeah, most definitely. Afterwards, like,
and then get to show it all off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
What about for you? What does it mean to you?
Well, it's fun. Again, I love to see my friends and my family and show off the work that I've been working on all year. It's a family effort. I want to thank all of our children too, because during this time, moms and dads and aunties and uncles and grandmas and grandpas, they're all helping us take care of our kids while we're trying to do our artwork. And it's kind of like a family event, and we support each other, and it's so fun.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, what do you hope the visitors will take away from the experience?
We'll sell out at Market.
That's why you want to take away your pieces, right?
Yes, definitely. We hope so.
Have the whole table cleared now.
There you go.
It's gone.
I'm sure they'll take much more than that away from it. I mean, all the hard work and, like I said, the love that goes behind each piece. You can see the passion when you guys describe what goes into it. In a year, it's a long process, and then it's gorgeous too.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Well, let's go ahead and tell our viewers where they can go for a schedule of events. I think we'll have some information for you right there. And of course, you can go to SWAIA.org there, and so we'll of course have that information on casa.com. And this event is coming up. And I do have one more question for you. In your opinions, what's the must-see at the event?
There's a clothing contest, and there's also there's just so much to see, but they also have powwow music, and so there's different events going on, not just the artwork itself. So it's an eyeful for one corner. You're looking all over the place, and so it's quite a bit.
So it really is just the whole thing.
Yes.
Is there anything that stands out to you, or?
I like the gala night on Friday night. There's the auction night on Saturday night. Let's see, they have the wheelwright, you have the different art shows that all the artists are doing around with their one-man shows or two-man shows.
What was the wheelwright?
The museum, the wheelwright has a auction coming up. And a lot of us too, we donate a lot of our stuff to the IA Museum, the wheelwright, to SWAIA, to the auction. So I mean, the whole weekend is really fun and eventful. I mean, you're going to be tuckered by Sunday night.
I'm sure you will. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Again, beautiful pieces here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Really
It's great to
enjoyed
be
having
here.
you on.